Yo, 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 yeah. What up, fight fans? It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up, Fah Fah. You already know what it is, man. And once again, man, it's just another delightful, somewhat cold Super NIPPL Sunday. So we just gonna pop off and do it how we do it, man, because they don't do it how we do it, man. So shout out to all the Reapers. Shout out to all my Reapers, though. Y'all already know how we kick it on Sunday. I'm all gas, no brakes. I'm not holding back. I'm going to hurt a lot of feelings today because I'm tired of the fake fandom. I'm tired of the fake fighters. I'm tired of the fake female franchise champions. I'm tired of all of these dudes out here pump faking. So let me put things back in perspective the way they supposed to be. We bosses, right? We bosses, right? So let's go ahead and do it. Since they bosses, yeah, Mikey. What happened, Mikey? Hey, man, shout out to the homie Sandor, man. Put them Spanish southpaw hands on my guy. Put them Spanish southpaw hands on my guy. First time fighting at the weight, shined at the weight, made Mikey look all the way bad at the weight. I mean, you could arguably say, shit, it was 12 rounds to nil. 12 rounds to nil. I don't know how y'all want to look at it. But see, this is the thing. When styles meet certain styles, all of that shit don't matter. It's about what you can do within the science. L's don't mean nothing. Stylistically, if you can't match up, if you can't, you know what I'm saying, adapt, if you can't get awkward box lefty, if you can't shift, then guess what? You're going to catch a nail. The man who makes the most adjustments always wins. And unfortunately, Mikey made none. No sense of urgency there, so we lost. That's how it goes, man. And we got a newly crowned champion, man. So shout out to that light fly, man. Let's get it. All right, man. So look, man, I'm sure everybody knows what happened last night. And if you don't know what happened last night, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what happened last night. But I just want to know, how many of y'all know what happened in Fresno last night? Do you know? Do you know? Because I need to know if y'all know what happened at Fresno last night before I tell you guys what I know. And I know there was a whole lot of no's in there, but it all made sense. Let's go. I'm turned up. I'm ready. So shout out to all my Reapers. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's go ahead and break it down for what it really, really is and what it really looks like out in the boxing world with those who really got their clear bifocals on that can see through all of the bullshit. That's all I'm saying. See, we got a super chat in here. Let's see what it do. Shout out to the homie Slide Tennessee's 87. He says, shout out to the champ. Reaper Gang Radio. Mikey looking like he had a fat man suit on. Bro, where's this dude's definition, B? This dude's stomach looked like a... Man, are you kidding me, man? That dude walked in there with the body of a 13-year-old, man. Are you kidding me? Mikey walked in there with the body of a very hungry 13-year-old. The only opposite was he wasn't hungry though. No sense of urgency there. Yo, why you celebrating? You bringing 70 farmers with you. You walking down the aisle. You turned up. You feeling yourself. You got everybody following you doing this long-ass, extensive freaking ring walk. And when you started from, at least for the first 100 yards, wasn't nobody in the fucking stands. People were running back through a bunch of empty seats just to see the beginning of your little ring walk while you're coming out there on your trailer feeling yourself, got your little sombrero on, cowboy hat, whatever you're doing. I see you had the homie with you, former 140-pound champion. I see you brought him out with you. Pops was there, here in the corner and all of that. What happened? What happened, Mikey? What happened, man? You was doing the most, and in the boxing ring, you did the least. You look real bad out there. Yo, here's a problem with boxing. Since you know what I'm saying, the boys brought up Mikey, man. Shout out to the homie JD. Shout out to my homie Miguel Moica. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Andre's movement, what's good? He appreciate you waiting, Brody. So look, man, here's a problem with boxing. Javi, salute. Fish, salute. This is the problem with boxing that I can't get with. Mikey basically took, I mean, he's already a Hall of Famer. Multi-weight champion, 4-weight champion, you know what I'm saying? Definitely did his thing, you know what I'm saying? I call him the king of the basics. You know, got some very credible wins up underneath his belt. Was an exciting fighter at one point in time. Then he just U-turned to do a whole bunch of stuff that made absolutely no sense. Jumping 2 weight classes to go up and fight Errol, because contrary to what everybody believes, the Robert Easter fight took place at 135 and 136 pounds. So at the end of the day, Mikey was never a 140-pound fighter going up 1 weight class. He went up 2 weight classes. And this isn't about what he did against Errol. It's just about the foolishness that he made. When you had Vasily Lomachenko right there, you could have unified. You could have had a legacy-defining fight. But instead, you go chasing around Errol Spence, get beat up. Errol can't even knock you out, so he making excuses like he out here putting on a boxing lesson. People feed into this stuff. I truly have a problem with boxing matches that don't make sense coming to fruition when you have legacy-defining fights sitting in the wing, and then you go out here and get beat by Sandor. How does that make sense? You get beat by Errol, you fight freaking Jesse Vargas, you win that fight. Good fight, by the way. Very, very deep card, by the way. If anybody didn't see that promotion, I suggest you go and watch it. Very, very deep card, by the way. And then you get your ass whooped at a catch weight of 145 pounds. How did that trajectory of what you did with your career made sense to anything when you were a unified champion down at the weight? You could have easily fought Vasily Lomachenko, had a career-defining fight. Y'all could have did the undisputed shit, and that would have been that. Somebody correct me if I'm saying something wrong. What sense does it make to jump up 2 weight classes, fight Errol, fight Jesse Vargas, then go out and fight Sandor? What sense do it make? I don't understand it. In all the ways you just tarnished your legacy and the fight fans got cheated. Just like we got cheated when it came to Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, just like we got cheated when it came to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, when we know Tyson Fury was lying because he already knew, he was fully aware that he couldn't take that fight, contrary to belief. If nobody believes me, I have the article. Tyson knew he couldn't take that fight. But constantly again, yet again, fight fans get cheated time and time again. And it's some bullshit. Legacy-defining fights being thrown away for Mikey to run up to fucking 147 pounds, look like a goddamn freaking stomach, looking like a goddamn bowl of warm potato salad out that joint, just looking bad, man. Bad. Bad. Man, the Mikey that's at 147 pounds does nothing conducive for me when it comes to the sport of boxing. I like little Mikey. I like Mikey with a lot of fire behind his hands, you know what I'm saying? A lot of speed, a lot of movement, you know what I'm saying? Hoppy Mikey, king of the basics Mikey. I don't like fat, warm potato salad belly Mikey. That does nothing for boxing. That does nothing for the boxing fans. And basically what it is you made yourself look bad on the tail end of your career. You're 33 years old. You still got a couple of years to go if you want to go that route. But what I'm saying is there's no point of you tarnishing your legacy to do shit that doesn't make any freaking sense. And I don't know if the PBC pushed you into it to help the promotion that is Errol Spence Jr., because we know this motherfucker can't sell a fucking soul food dinner without the help of somebody else. And then even then, for those people who praise the 300,000 pay-per-view buys, and I'm pushing it saying that, or the 275,000 pay-per-view buys, you should be ashamed of yourself, because anybody raise their hand in this motherfucker if 275,000 to 300,000 pay-per-view buys in somewhat signifies a success in the boxing world. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. I've never been able to subscribe to that. I don't understand how people can get with that. Yo, it's just out of control how far we've fallen in the boxing world. But I ain't here to do all of that. I'm just stating the obvious. I'm here for Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez versus the real boogeyman, Devin Haney. Y'all can call him Pillow Fitz Haney. Y'all can say all of the little weak bullshit y'all want. But the fact of the matter is, you spent whole freaking year bullshitting, running up to Eddie, all talking about $10 million this, Eddie saying they could make that happen, y'all getting all giddy, and then what? Y'all saying y'all can get $8 million fighting George Kambosos in Australia. That never happens. Triller tries to move the fight to freaking Australia. Then you throw a hissy fit saying you're not going over to Australia, and then y'all are going to decide how you're going to make the fight. Fight's supposed to happen, and was supposed to happen, I believe, October. That never came to fruition. Then Triller backs out of it on behalf of the IBF, trying to make it like it's George Kambosos' fault, because the little baby milk bitch boy, the baby milk breath bitch boy, excuse me, decided that he wants to do Kambosos in the same way that Bob Arum was trying to do him when it came to Vasily Lomachenko. Kambosos didn't want to take $300,000. Duh. Who would want to take $300,000? I wouldn't. You wouldn't. So now it's George Kambosos' fault. I find it funny that, you know what I'm saying, the same restraints that the same bullshit that you try to put on George Kambosos, the same situation that you were in, and you wouldn't, and you weren't willing to take on yourself. And when it came to Devin Haney, we already know that off top, unifications trumps mandatories. So you mean to tell me, for the little bit of money, because we know the fight is still going on DAZN, the people who put in the second offer always has the option to pick up the fight when the person who initially puts up the biggest bid defers. So Matchroom, of course, they picked it up. They're hosting it on DAZN. And you're not getting nowhere near the amount of money that you would have made fighting Devin Haney. So now you want to do all this popping shit in the media, going back and forth, knowing this dude been chasing you down forever, ever. And everybody else in the division, he been chasing down forever, ever. What do you mean? What about the meeting with Bob? Who the fuck wants to meet with Bob? Who? You won't even want to meet with Bob. You ran away from Bob. Remember, stupid? Remember the purse bid? That's what you do. You ran away for more money, didn't you? Didn't you? But you want Devin Haney to meet with Bob when we has the most lucrative promoter, the one who offers the most money to all of the fighters moving around. Don't matter the promotional outfit, willing to send his fighters on any promotional outfit. So as a fight fan, who the fuck are you going to believe here? Are you going to believe the consistent capping of a Teofimo Lopez? Or are you going to believe a dude who constantly gets shot down on every opponent he runs up on every fight he tries to make, in every situation, at every turn somebody tries to criticize him? I even had your fucking belligerent drunk father on my channel criticizing Devin Haney, and then when Bill shows up, what happened? The whole energy shift, all of this talk about he didn't want to make the fight and this and that, he's avoiding everybody in the division. Then all of that freaking changed. Then let's be friends. Let's go out and have a drink. I got a fake Rolex. I'm driving a little engine that can't. And my motherfucking old school 19 whatever fucking Cadillac Escalade. So nothing you could say at Fresno can help me believe. And for all of you fans out there who don't know the sauce, hey, you can check it out on Reaper Gang Radio. I only got it on the Age of Spin. I really had his dad and his dad literally live on the channel. And all of this shit got aired out. Y'all have seen the consistent patterns of Teofimo Lopez. So what does that show you? Who you really think want to fight? I'm gonna look at some of these comments real quick, and I'm gonna get back to rant. That boy, hold up. And if you don't know, if Teo don't know, man, go get some fucking milk, man. Sliding counter salute. Peter Edwards, what it do? JD was popping. Yeah, you know Teo won catch weight. Teo he barely can make the weight he at now. I think that's what all of the freaking pump faking, that's what all the languid activity is from. I just think it's just a bunch of cap. We know Teofimo Lopez can barely make the weight he is at right now. He's struggling to do so. I think that's the reason why you postponed the fight the first time. Contrary to my belief, I truly don't know this, but for a guy like George Kambosos, an individual I feel like you can knock out in a couple of rounds, a dude who was going life or death with Lee Selby, there is no reason why you shouldn't have just went ahead and just dove head first in a freaking deep end pool, in a shallow end pool, might I add, and just went ahead and got him out the way. But hey, that's me though. That's me. James Jameson salute. Miguel salute. no look past salute. Teofimo Lopez. That's his new name, no look. That's his new name. Teofimo. Because I ain't never seen a bunch of menstrual pack I ain't never seen more menstrual pack activity out of one box of tampons in my life. That nigga is a whole box of soap tampons. He moving like a whole box of soap tampons, and can't nobody tell me no different. I think as hard as ba-boom, 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 I think that shit is pumping Kool-Aid right about now. Spence numbers done went down on every pay-per-view, every single one. So somebody tell me where the hell is the star? That's what gets me so out of my body when I hear individuals talk about this whole, he deserves 60, 40, 70, 30. And when people try to twist up this whole false campaign, they got to give Terrence Crawford. When we know for a fact, when Terrence Crawford wanted to fight, he was more than okay with 50-50. This goofball jumps out there saying it's going to be 60-40 his way. So Terrence say, bump that. If it's going to be 60-40 anybody's way, it's going to be 60-40 my way. And why would he say that? Consistently having the highest viewership on motherfucking cable TV and American on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Having this $4 million bottom line by consistently earning it by being a multi-weight, undisputed champion at 140 pounds. Am I missing something? While Errol Spence was running around trying to cycle off every PED in the world and not even wanting to sign up to VADA. Let's be serious. These dudes don't want to take certain fights because they know they can't cycle off in enough time. And these dudes and certain dudes is real dogs and they ain't really trying to get dogged out. I'm looking for injection marks on everybody. On this Super Nipple Sunday, I'm looking for injection marks on everybody. Mikey didn't want to smoke alone. Absolutely, at this point, I mean, what else can you say when you jump up and go do things that make absolutely no sense? Got to, you know what I'm saying, out here, bad body, you know what I mean? Just all the way bad technique, you know what I'm saying? Just getting completely outclassed by a guy who has never even had one televised fight on American soil or even fought in America. He's only fought in Spain. And I mean, I don't know any, like, can somebody tell me 3 freaking great fighters that came out of Spain? Anybody? If you can, I would greatly appreciate it. I know if Mark was in here, he'd probably be able to tell me if there was somebody highly touted, maybe 3 individuals that came out of Spain, but I just don't know one. And Mikey, you got beat by that guy. And he's not a bad fighter. He's actually a very good fighter, very slick, very poised. Definitely, you know what I'm saying, fights in the way of operates in the way of a Dimitri Bivol by knowing where the ropes are, you know what I'm saying, and never, you know, putting his back against him. Started off like that in the first round, but every round after that was just a masterful boxing class with a whole bunch of slipping, sliding, countering, pivoting, and beating the shit out of Mikey Garcia. These are facts. Wayne Haney, what it do? Or a shot in the ass so you won't see the mark. Hey, look, man, he probably is taking a whole bunch of shots in the ass because the way he acting right now is beta. So shout out to Teofimo Lopez. See, because I don't know if you guys have a great memory, photographic memory or whatever, but I tend to have a pretty decent memory, I would like to say it myself. And if I look at the current events of everything that has taken place recently, we all know that all the criticism went where and whose way at 135 pounds? All of the criticism went Devin Haney's way. None of the criticism went Ryan Garcia's way. But then what slowly started to happen? Ryan Garcia got caught doing the same shit Teofimo Lopez was doing when it came to Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia wanted to put him last. Interim champion, got the fast track to the WBC title, doesn't want to take it. So, and then slowly and surely, it's just amazing to me. And I'm going to say this just how I said it on Ring IQ's channel, Fight Reaper Game. It's just amazing to me that Ryan Garcia pulls out of so many fights considering he has freaking 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Like, how How the fuck do you pull out of so many fights when you got 4 freaking kids? Your pullout game ain't crazy, Slim, and your pullout game is crazy. 4 kids and this pullout game is crazy. How does that work? You got 4 kids and your pullout game is crazy. Because you pull out of every goddamn fight with some form of a credible opponent is announced. You got even JoJo Diaz coming up in weight, and you even pulling out of fights with him. Is it really an injury, or is it all of that upper body exterior that you all of a sudden is starting to become quite chiseled that just came out of nowhere, just like, you know what I'm saying, the disappearance of Andy Ruiz's other 2, like 100 plus pounds of his body? It doesn't make any sense. This dude got more kids than any young man that I know at the age of 22. But when it comes to the boxing game, his pullout game is fucking crazy. Y'all help me make sense of this nonsense. How are you pulling out so frequently, but you got 4 damn kids? You know nothing about pulling out, my friend. That's why you should stick around for a little bit. I'm not entertained. At this point, I'm done. I've been done with Ryan Garcia. But no. Remember when I made the gray area? Everybody criticized me for the fact that I pointed out the character of an individual that would put somebody last, or the character of an individual who would talk about fighting somebody at 130 pounds after they won a 135-pound interim WBC title. I don't get it. Tank wasn't even running around jumping from 135 to 140 at that time, running through the ass crack alleys of freaking boxing, chasing every freaking baby bitch belt he possibly could find. Tank wasn't even there yet. Tank was literally, I think he had only had to fight with Yuriokis Gamboa at the time. That was the only 135-pound fight he had, and then he proceeded to go right back down, and his next fight was against who? Leo Santa Cruz. With 2 belts and 2 different weights on the line, but I'm not even gonna go there because that shit'll mind fuck us all. Skull fuck the shit out of everybody. So what I'm saying is, how can you completely be dismissive of the character of an individual who wins a WBC interim title, and Devin's giving you the opportunity to fight him, and you don't want to take it? Teofimo, Lopez, Junior, Senior. Y'all ran up on Eddie Hearn and asked for $10 million, and that motherfucker didn't even blink. Right or wrong, Reapers? That motherfucker didn't even blink. What did he say? Oh, yeah, I could do that. But we see what the baby gonna do. We clearly see what the baby gonna do. This shit is getting out of hand. And I think that it comes to a point to where if everybody looks at all of the criticism that went Devin's way, we should be chefing that shit up and serving that shit Teofimo way. We should be chefing it up and serving it to breast milk baby breath over there. Ryan Garcia, pullout game crazy, by the way, fucking crazy, man. I stopped caring for Ryan after the second dispute with Oscar on his pay. Drama queen. And this dude, I don't even think that he had fought. I think that was right before the Fonseca fight or the Romero-Dunno fight. But regardless, he had already got 1 contract boost. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you can't take care of all of the kids that you tend to make, my G, you can't try to put that type of pressure on Oscar. Then, you know what I'm saying? You act like then when Oscar is saying he's uncertain about the individuals and where you stack up at him against the top 5 guys at 135 pounds, you all out that bitch like, put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game, coach. And then when the motherfucker throw you in the game, you run straight off the goddamn field. You want to sit on the bench. I don't want to go out there no more. First time he got hit on the 5-yard line by goddamn Luke Campbell, you chinny some of a bitch. Luke Campbell tapped you on your chin, and then what happened? I don't want to go out there no more. Face a little bit of adversity, get up, give you credit for it, and next thing you know, you just pulled disappearing next on the level of Houdini, David Blaine shit, David Copperfield type shit. I can't believe it. Is this you? Ryan? The Prince of Zamunda? I can't believe it. Fuck out of here, man. If he has 4 kids, the fuck he doing avoid paid work? Bitch assing is concentrated. Peter, that's the type of things I'm trying to understand. Because if you got mouths to feed, it behooves you to feed them, correct? This man ain't doing nothing of the above. He talking, hey, hold up. First it was mental health, you know, all of the greatest fighters, and I quote, you know, when you're dealing with mental health, you know, it's on me to deal with the pressure because, you know, pressure creates a diamond. And if anybody can learn from my experiences, you know, I'm just here to show them what I go through. So hopefully they won't have to go through it. Man, if you don't shut your bitch ass up, gay! Like, really? Damian Wester, salute. Like, really though? Mister, you going through all your mental health issues so you can show other young people in the world how to deal with them? Well, how you going to show them how to deal with it when as soon as Javier Fortuna came in to mention the goddamn levee broke? Your heart just broke. Your heart just pulled a disappearing act. Shang Tsung, Mortal Kombat shit. Get over here. That was Hawaii calling on line 1. You didn't perform. So what are you showing the youth that's coming up behind you? Hey, man, let's do a crate challenge. Let's do a fast hands challenge. Let's do a, hey, man, I could show you how to pull out faster than a some of my bitch challenge. Teofimo Lopez, Teofimo, you sitting up there talking about after beating Vasily Lomachenko, you were so high on winning 6 rounds that goddamn it, you gonna sit up there and talk about you going after the email champ next. Well, the email champion is the one that want all of the smoke with you motherfuckers, and all of y'all bitches get amnesia every time his name is mentioned. I just don't get it. Somebody help me compute this shit. I'm tired of all of these young dudes talking about mental health. Oh, now your wrist is brittle, your shit broke. Oh, you're getting surgery and this and that. He's the type of motherfucker that would take a surgery that he don't even need just to avoid some pressure. Mister, I want to be a diamond. No, motherfucker, you a moissanite. Nah, I ain't even going to call you a moissanite because they still somewhat expensive. Nah, you a piece of cubic zirconium. And whoa, what is up with all of these dudes out here talking about Tyson Fury is in somewhat on par with Muhammad Ali? Listen, motherfuckers, listen here. I'm sick of y'all. You making me mad. Understand this. Tyson Fury fought a dude that you knew was trash. You knew he was trash. He still has a lot of proving to do. And even though I've ranked him as the #1 heavyweight in the world, there is some shit that needs to be seen. Well, no, I don't rank him the #1 heavyweight in the world. I rank Alexander Usyk pound for pound #1. But what I'm saying is I feel as though Tyson Fury has the best chance of beating Usyk because the way he went sloppily at Wilder with some form of technique, but very, very sloppy in his approach at times, just smothering his work consistently, smothering the fuck out of the work. You're gonna have to do that with Usyk, but you're gonna have to be a lot more meticulous about it. But to go ahead and act like a person who has only beat Derek Chisora in his career, Christian Hammer, and he don't nobody even care about that. USS Cunny, who freaking knocked you on your ass in the 2nd round, and 3 fights with Deontay Wilder, it doesn't put you at the top of the mountain, you know. And definitely shout out to that Vladimir Klitschko win because that was a very big win. But your biggest career wins, you only really have one. The only people that are giving you credit for how you perform against a Deontay Wilder are the delusional boxing fans of the world. And there are a lot more of them than there are a lot more of us. But I'm just sick of it. When I made my comparison of who the new stylistic Tyson Fury was, a lot of people misconstrued the video and didn't even pick up what I was putting down. They were automatically assuming that I was saying Muhammad Ali. No, I was comparing him to Black Hercules, Ken Norton. Crossbones defense, the ability to come forward, doubling up on a jab, following through with the straight, ferocious front foot pressure, good footwork while staying dominant on the front foot. I was comparing him to that individual, not Muhammad Ali. I would never disgrace the sport like that, nor should you. But we have a problem when individuals like to disgrace the sport on a whole different level. Everybody is riding so high off of this Deontay Wilder run. What does it really mean when everybody in the top 5 could beat him? You were just the one that was blessed with the opportunity. Fortunately. And I'm happy for you. But it's what you do with those opportunities that you were blessed with and how you capitalized on the opportunity after coming off the couch. I commend you for losing all of the weight. It is what you do from this point on that makes the most sense in the boxing world. Because truthfully speaking, in every sense of the word, the heavyweight division truthfully just got competitive. You got a lot of killers around you and a lot of options and one very, very, very fucking ferocious mandatory. Great champions of the world don't talk about throwing their belt away as soon as you know Dillian Whyte is going to be made as mandatory. They don't talk about pulling the Riddick bow. Great champions, when it comes to whoever has the belt, whoever's holding the belt, they want to go after that individual and they want to grab the belt. Great champions want to move everybody out the way. Great champions don't turn down anybody that's calling them out if it makes all the sense in the world and they have of some status. And great champions don't sit up there pick and choose. You take on all comers. That's what great champions do. So even though I see him as a certain fighter, right now is the time Tyson Fury is going to show us if he's conducting himself like a great champion. Because beating Deontay Wilder was nothing more than a freaking skip off a Golden Brick Road and a walk in the park for that dude. Come on, man. Y'all know the skill set. Y'all know the individual. Y'all know what he can put together in the ring. So why would anybody act like they're surprised? Mentioning Tyson Fury next to Muhammad Ali, you should receive a felony for that shit. It should be illegal to speak like that. We goddamn near live in a police state anyway. That shit should be a goddamn felony. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Happy Sunday and salute Lisa Bales, man. Salute Javi. Happy Sunday to you too. Even after all of the effort White has put in, they won't give him any credit after he beats the great Wallen, who gave Fury hell. That's what I'm saying. And to be perfectly honest, although Wallen put a goddamn 5-inch pussy on his forehead, a whole vagina. And when, and look, because when, and I mean when, Dillian Whyte goes out there and he dismantles Otto Wallen, I wonder what people are going to say. But as JD just stated there, you know what they're going to say. Nobody wants Dillian Whyte to get opportunities. Everybody is in a rush to praise Tyson Fury. There's all types of great heavyweight talent all around, motherfuckers, and people aren't just saying, hey, we got to see all of these dudes mix it up. The O's mean nothing. Fury's the last one standing with an O. Why is he the last one standing with an O? Does anybody know? Because I can surely tell you if you don't understand. The only reason Tyson Fury is the only one standing with an undefeated record because the other individuals that happen to lose, they are constantly engaging in with the top 10 talents of the world, time and time and time and time and time again. They're not fighting no freaking tomato cans dragged behind a Weddy van time and time and time again. They're not out here fighting the Sefer Safaris of the world, the Francisco Payanettas. Them shits wouldn't even grace their record unless it was the first couple of opponents. Them dudes like Dillian Whyte, he caught his first L on some Commonwealth shit, getting busy with Anthony Joshua. Don't get it all the way fucked up. What has Anthony Joshua been doing? I mean, shit. I mean, he only just lost to Alexander Usyk, undisputed cruiserweight, coming up to heavyweight, now definitely pound for pound number one in my eyes. He only fought Andy Ruiz twice before that. And I mean, shit. I mean, it fought Kubrat Pulev, Andy Ruiz twice before that. I mean, shit. So, I mean, if you look at the individuals, certain people are fighting the Alexander Povekins of the world, the Vladimir Klitschko's of the world. I mean, shit, even the Carlos Takams of the world. If you look at all of these individuals, I mean, look at who freaking Dillian Whyte has been fighting. Lucas Browns, Oscar Rivas, Alexander Povetkin twice, Joseph Parker, even fucking having to deal with the freaking very difficult gatekeeping, you know what I'm saying, Marius Walks of the world. Because of the height, it don't make it easy. You're going to have to go through a meticulous 12-round breakdown of that big-ass dude, Big Baby Miller. He was in there for 12 rounds off of every freaking PBC, the CVS, and freaking Walgreens, Rite Aid, and every goddamn Walmart, Target pharmacy you could think of. Constant, consistent work. That's why he's the only one still standing, because he isn't mixing it up with constant, consistent work. Because I'm here to tell you, if USS Connie can put you on your ass, Dillian White can do that shit too. And I don't know if you'll get up from that. So when I call a spade, hey man, it is what it is. You've got to fight. You've got to fight. Those type of individuals, for me to kick my feet up and motherfucking give you the type of weird delusional praise that other people are gonna give you. Because even with Anthony Joshua having the 2 losses, if he comes back and beats Alexander Usyk again, there ain't nobody here. There ain't nobody safe. Nobody is safe. If Anthony Joshua beats Alexander Usyk, I swear on everything I love, I don't care who you are, nobody is safe. Nobody. And I heard he's running around America too. I seen a picture with him having a no boxing, no life on. Hey, please don't tell me you going up in that Reynoso's freaking GMO freaking training camp. Don't go over there with the GMOs. Don't do that, AJ. I heard he went to go visit Buatsi out there with Virgil Hunter. That's not necessarily the move for me, but I'm very enthused for the fact that he is feeling out American culture with American coaches. It's time to shake off the amateur pedigree, baby. Nothing wrong with that. So let's see what's going to happen, because I'm telling you, if Anthony Joshua wins that shit, ain't nobody safe. Nobody. All bums. All bums. This is the most talented can-kicking motherfucker I ever seen. One thing about Deontay Wilder was he was a very inferior, very limited fighter who fought very limited fighters. So there's nothing much you can say there. He's doing exactly what you would expect a coward with a lackluster skill set would do with a delusional pundit that's just speaking him up, talking him up in delusional freaking social media stance. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. But when you are as talented as a Tyson Fury and you come from the type of fighting family you come from and you speak and you claim the type of shit that you claim, yes, you should be fighting tougher individuals. But see, one thing about Tyson Fury, I will lend credit to and play devil's advocate on my own wordplay when it comes to Tyson Fury, is this. Because he comes from a boxing family, because he knows the ins and outs, the particulars of the game, he plays the game within that way so he doesn't lose. Because he markets himself off of being undefeated, being this freaking fraudulent goddamn lineal champion, but being a very legitimate WBC Ring Magazine champion. And here's the thing about the Ring Magazine belt. So with Tyson Fury holding that Ring Magazine belt, Reaper Gang, do y'all truly believe that Tyson Fury is going to be engaging in a fight with at least a top 5 opponent to a top 10 opponent on a consistent basis? Because I believe it's every so many months you have to fight somebody in the top 5, I believe. I think it's the top 5, top 8, something like that, for the Ring Magazine belt. If you're the Ring Magazine belt holder, there's stipulations and standards that come with that. And that's one of them. If you're going to be the best in the world, you must consistently fight the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury knows the game on some level, and maybe that's the reason why he plays it that way. And he'll only be a bunch of bums, tuning himself off a bunch of bums, and then fighting one good guy per every light year. I don't know. Maybe that's just the way you get down. But that was me playing devil's advocate for a fucking second. But at the end of the day, it's some shit that I can't get with. Because all day, you know what I'm saying? That, look, there's nothing really too different from what Tyson Fury has done in his career and Deontay Wilder has done in his career, if you want to be quite frank and perfectly honest about it. There's nothing too different from what both individuals has done. And what I mean by that is the only difference in Tyson Fury's record is the fact that he has a Vladimir Klitschko on there. But if you want to talk about caliber of opponents, I would say Dominic Breazeale and Derek Chisora, kind of negligible. I would say that Christian Hammer and freaking, even Luis Ortiz, all of those dudes are negligible. So at the end of the day, for the talent that Fury has compared to the skill set that Deontay Wilder has, why is the trajectory of, you guys' record and career kind of like running parallel? That's kind of weird if you are the greatest, if you want to compare his greatness to Muhammad Ali. Somebody help that make sense. How many champions have Muhammad Ali beat? World champions. I believe 14, correct? Something like 14 world champions? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Muhammad Ali beat 14 champions in his career? Something like that. The genuine proof of White's power was in that left hook when he dropped Parker, who has a beard. Yo, Parker has a long beard too, because Anthony Joshua was hitting him with some hot shit, and he wasn't willing to go nowhere. The chin is real. Yeah, man, I heard he getting some of that California women, weed, and weather. Let's see what comes out of that. Hey, man, hopefully you come home with a Manny Robles. Hopefully you come home with a John David Jackson, a Buddy McGirt. Hopefully you come home with an Ishmael Salas. Hey, am I saying something wrong here? Those are some of the things Anthony Joshua need to come home with. Two sides of the division. The Carnival and I guess the champs or some shit, or the real thing, something like that. That's what I would take from that. Shout out to Fish. Lisa Bell, salute to the queen. Ali beat several Hall of Fame fighters too. Facts. And I believe if you would equate like a majority of the fighters that Ali fought are the best fighters that ever walked the face of the earth. These are facts. Has at any given era, at any given time, has Deontay Wilder done that? I don't fucking think so. Has Tyson Fury done that? I don't fucking think so. The comparison is just complete trash. Complete trash. I'm just sick of this consistent push to diminish the, cause see, look, this is how boxing and there's a reason why they do that, right? Because at this point in time, this is how boxing sells itself. Boxing sells itself based off of putting down or not acknowledging all of the hurdles, the hardships, and all of the astronomical, unfathomable accolades that some of these greats have done before them, the level of activity, the work rate, how often they fought. Boxing diminishes these things and tries to make somewhat of a stark comparison when it comes to the new guys, because it wants to lend some sort of appeal on a casual level, because they're not going to dig for it. They're not going to do the homework. So in a lot of ways, it's a marketing point. When you talk about Deontay Wilder and his power, if a casual doesn't know anything about the greats, if they don't know anything about a freaking Ernie Shavers, if they know nothing of a Jerry Cooney, if they know nothing of a George Foreman, a Mike Tyson, even a Michael Moore, they know nothing of a if they know nothing of a David Tua, if they know nothing of fighters who hit like that, all it is when you put these guys on the screen, and in comparison, all it is a freaking marketing point to try to sell this guy, to try to make him look good. But at the end of the day, I won't let you diminish the freaking the skill set of the greats, the ones that came before you, or even let you compare yourself like you were in some way, shape, or form, like you measure up, or you have the same size King Kong nuts that them niggas do, and they move with. Pause. Because you don't. Silverback gorilla shit, marmoset shit. There's a difference, man. You got monkey shit. Basically what I'm saying is you got monkey shit and you got gorilla shit. And what them niggas doing ain't no gorilla shit. Always trying to tarnish the legacy of motherfuckers who are real dogs. And y'all motherfuckers ain't really dog nothing besides goddamn buffets. Freaking, man, god damn it, man. They piss me off so bad. It's bullshit. The comparisons don't translate. They don't run parallel at all. At all. And when somebody show me, when you look at how many, man, look, man. I don't know how many world champions Deontay Wilder beat. Do you? Do y'all know any world champions that Deontay Wilder has beat? I don't know one. Besides the PD-infested interim champ, fucking in a 50-year-old freaking birth certificate, and a dude that's possibly walking around 56-year-old, still dyeing his hair, out that bitch training off all sorts of freaking growth hormones and PEDs and shit like that, Luis Ortiz. Deontay Wilder isn't that guy. Tyson Fury is yet to prove that he is that guy. So stop talking about him like he measures up. Because you know the NBA logo, how they got Jerry West on the NBA logo? If boxing had a logo, Ali would be standing over top of goddamn Joe Frazier. Come on, man. He'd be standing over top of Sonny Liston. Come on, man. Some bullshit. Oh yeah. One champion. I'm sorry. Bermain Stavern. So he has a Bermain Stavern and a WBA stripped. Interim WBA stripped. Luis King Kong Ortiz. Beat on my chest. I need a goddamn IV, some insulin, and some blood pressure pills now. Because I exerted too much energy with my old ass. It's a fucking joke, man. Mark, I can't even pronounce that shit, brother. I can't even pronounce it, bro. I'm not even going to try to butcher that on any level. But Mark, I would love for you to come up right now because I would love for you to emphasize on my frustrations on these comparisons with Tyson Fury and Muhammad Ali. If you have the time, sir. So I'm going to slide this in here for you. Wizard Sleeve salute. Many blessings to you, my brother. Let me just slide this in here for you real quick. Let me just slide this in here for you real quick. That's like Ryan Garcia with every single one of his pregnant bitches. Just let me slide this in here for you real quick. It's only going to be real quick. Like, give me 1 second. I'm posting this link for Mark so he can come up here. So my brother Unrivaled can come up here so he can expound on my frustrations because, God damn it, I'm livid for a lot of reasons. My bros got the time. My guy. Unrivaled, what's goody? Shout out to freaking Joette Gonzalez's lower eye. Shout out to Joette Gonzalez cheek. Great fight, by the way, for Emmanuel.
Oh God. What's up?
What's going on, my guy?
I'm all good. What did you want me to emphasize on? A little bit.
These consistent comparisons of Tyson Fury and freaking Muhammad Ali. What? Like, my brain is about to freaking explode, dude.
You know, you've heard of Talk Sport, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, they did a top 20 heavyweights list since 1970, pretty much the last 50 years. And they had Tyson Fury at number 6, right? But they had him above Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Vlad Vitali, Bo. So he's being very overrated in that sense, and his fans are overrating him even more. He's the greatest fighter since Ali. He's greater than Ali. He's greater than Larry Holmes. And it's kind of getting depressing. How's a man? He's got, 4 title fights, 3 title fight victories. We don't know what Wilder ever was, because the only thing that proves Wilder is a draw with Tyson Fury coming off of the couch, and Tyson Fury's chin's never been that proven. And an old Vladimir Klitschko, who I give him all the credit for the Vlad when he deserves it. But at the same point, Vlad was older, slowing down, on his way out. He comes back, he fights this Wilder lad, who had fought Luis Ortiz, okay. At best was an interim champion with the WBA. Best win was Brian Jennings, okay. Move over from that, he beats Stavern, who in my opinion is his best win. He's a better win than Luis Ortiz. When Stavern was champion, he had a better resume than Luis Ortiz has now.
He did.
So I'm just going to be dead ass. That is his best win. Bermain gets disrespected on that record because they know the record ain't shit. So they need to come up with some bullshit narrative to say that this old geezer, oh yeah, everybody ducks him, so he's obviously better than everybody. Look, the man was never ducked properly. You make up shit all the time, but that dude actually ducked 14 fights in his whole career. I think the one person you could say that actually ducked Luis Ortiz was actually Deontay Wilder when they were originally meant to have a fight. And he ducked him. So that's beside the point. Comparing Fury to Ali, Ali has 25 title fights. I did a whole thing on this up on Twitter. Ali destroys Tyson Fury statistically. I'll go and get that little snippet here for you. But you're comparing them to either the greatest or second greatest heavyweight of all time. Like in Ali, it's him or Joe Louis. And Tyson just doesn't compare. Fury has 4 title fights. Ali has 25. Fury has 3 title fight wins. Ali 22. Fury has 1 win over Hall of Fame. Ali has 11. Individual Hall of Famers beaten. Fury has 1. Ali has 7. Wins over top 10 rated opponents. Fury has 5 wins, and that's me including Chisora, who at the time wasn't in the top 10, but I'm including him because for 2 months of his entire career, he was ranked number 10 in Ring Magazine. So I'm giving him Chisora twice, Wilder twice, and Klitschko, right? Because these are consensus rankings, so don't be coming to me with Tom Schwartz and all that bullshit. All of Ali's top 10 rated opponents, they were inside the actual ring and all that bullshit. Right? Ali, if so, Fury has 5. Ali, 39 wins over top 10 rated opponents. 39. Number of title defenses. Fury 1, Ali 19. Number of times undisputed. Fury 0. And I've edited this. Ali 3 times. Because when he became undisputed, beating this, and he got stripped of it, but he won it back, becoming a 2-time in his first run, and then he became, we all know about George Foreman win. 3-time undisputed champion. Tyson Fury, never. It's ridiculous to even bother comparing him to an all-time great like that. And then people will come up with the concept of, well, he's 6'9" and he's 270 pounds. Okay. That's cool. Nikolai Valuev is 7'10" or whatever the fuck he is, and 500 pounds. And he lost to David A. And that's a robbery over Evander Holyfield. So it's not when you fights against the best fighters. And the other thing is, just saying a dude is big doesn't mean he's gonna win. If that's the case, if that was honestly the case, Tank Davis would have lost every fight he's been in as a professional. People are stupid, dudes. But
it's extremely frustrating, and you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so glad you in here so you could go ahead and break down, you know what I'm saying, all of the extra particulars and shit. It's just extremely, like, it's just like, what does boxing become? Like, so we're basically going to try to belittle the accomplishments of all of the greats that came before him, and now that we have this current crop of, you know what I'm saying, boxers who only exert a quarter of freaking effort of what, the guy's done in the past, and a quarter is being a little bit extra, and might I add. So now, we're just going to belittle accomplishments, and Talk Sports wants to put him where? Above who? Shit. Fucking Mike Tyson alone would make me fucking bash my head through my goddamn sliding glass door window. I just can't get with this shit. It's just completely out of control. And, boxing is going to be completely inflated with all of this bullshit as long as people continue to do dumb shit like this. As long as if we have articles saying shit like this, how is boxing ever going to, how are we ever going to have a realistic conversation about what fighters really are if they're doing shit like this?
I've no idea. Journalism's really gone downhill with certain people in terms of wanting to get interviews for themselves, so they do lick-ass interviews. Because that's essentially what the dude who wrote this is doing. He's literally rimming Tyson Fury. Like, rimming him. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's sucking the skin off of that rod.
I'm sorry, but that article had Deontay Wilder is greater than Michael Moore. Get the fuck out of here. Michael Moore beat fucking Holyfield. Get the fuck out of here. I don't understand it, man. Like, these articles, they're insane. Like, Ken Norton's on that list, but like he's below fucking Fury and shit like that. Fury as a heavyweight is no great yet. Like, and people saying that he's definitely the best of his era because he's proven it. Proven it by what? He fights Klitschko 6 years ago. He wins. He comes back. He obviously is not the same fighter that he once was. And he beats the only other dude in the division with a belt who's completely and utterly unproven, who you have to validate his record off of fighting against fucking Luis Ortiz and beating him, who was also relatively unproven because the last time he had a win was 5 years ago, when his career was at its most controversial point, if I'm not mistaken, for PEDs, when he beat Brian Jennings. And then he goes off of that fight, and all of a sudden, Luis Ortiz is the greatest win in the world. Let's not make out like this man didn't have a heart attack or a stroke on his way to the fucking ring. Because he did. He did.
Yeah, that man had to, they had to full on, he straight up had blood pressure issues. They had to give him blood pressure medicine and all sorts of shit before the fight. He wasn't even really in shape to have a fucking fight. They had to do they had to do a physical, all types of shit. The freaking Luis Ortiz before he even went to the ring. Just embarrassing.
Look, this is all I'll say. As far as it goes, if you want to compare Tyson Fury to Ali and say Tyson Fury's greater than Ali, let's put it this way. Boxing is not Marvel, and it's not Thor. If you beat a guy, you don't inherit his powers like you do picking up the hammer. Right? That's not how it works. It's not as though, let's say you beat Vladimir Klitschko, therefore you inherit all of the powers of Vladimir Klitschko and add them onto your skill properties. That's not how boxing works, which is what people think it means with this man who beat the man bullshit, right? So Fury beats Vlad. Okay. So Ali was a champion in two different eras. To be champion in two different eras, beat Liston and Foreman. Okay? For Fury to become a champion in two different eras, he beats Deontay Wilder, Vladimir Klitschko. Now, Vladimir Klitschko is a consistent champion throughout, right? Wilder hasn't proven that he can come back. George Foreman had the greatest comeback in heavyweight history, but becoming a lineal champion, legit lineal, 20 years, my guy, after he first won it. Over 20 years, Ali stopped him. Ali beat Liston twice. Ali holds victories over Norton. Ali beat Joe Frazier. Ali and Frazier is the greatest trilogy in heavyweight history, not your fat ass and fucking Lanky's ass over there. Y'all's trilogy, in all honesty, is mostly whack. Other than a few knockdowns and a dude getting beat up, it's crap. There's a few knockdowns. That's all.
and the most sloppy heavyweight performance I ever seen. It was amateur hour at its best. I mean, nobody who was really a fan of the sweet science could really digest what those guys were doing in the totality of a 12-round fight. Fury consistently smothering his work, and he's got freaking a mastermind coming out of Detroit, that's helping him perfecting with his 1-2. And it just no separation to put any freaking snap behind the punches. Just it looked like, man, like it looked like like they was belly surfing on each other like half the fight. It was just real bad, bro.
It was. I'll be honest, I thought the best fight of that whole trilogy was the first, but I'm biased because I was there, right? And everybody keeps telling me I'm being biased. The third fight was. I think the first fight was, because what I think the third fight is, and people may think I'm reading too much into it, I think the third fight was fixed. Because I think the third fight is the first fight plus the second fight combined.
Oh, got you. See, for
just
me,
a sloppy version.
For me, I always felt like I enjoyed the second fight the most because it was the most dominant. It was dominant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just shut him down, destroyed him, and it was off the backs of the time where, this mythical power and all of these things that Deontay got completely unclothed. For me, that's why I give it to the second fight. But at the same time, so much controversy came behind the second fight. There's going to be a whole bunch of disingenuous individuals that are like, well, he cheated that fucking fight. So, you can't, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It's honestly a lot of trash. Essentially, what's happened is you have a guy who's probably the most overrated heavyweight I've ever seen in my entire life get credit by beating the other most overrated heavyweight I've ever seen in my life. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I mean, no, you said it. You said it all, and you said it truthfully. And you said it as, I mean, and that's exactly what. And that's the type of emphasis. See, like, that's why I love having you on, because we talk about shit like this all the time. But that's the exact type of emphasis that I want to put on, and I want to stress to, everybody that's in the live that's going on here, because, we have this thing to where boxing is consistently hoodwinked, Mark, with all of this fabricated freaking, these unicorn fucking falsified theories of what these fighters really are. I mean, like, come on, bro. I mean, just look at it. Like, when I watch Rummy's Corner, and I love Rummy's Corner to death, I never disrespect Rummy, one of my favorite freaking channels on YouTube. But when you're comparing this fight to the greatest trilogies of all time, I'm like, dude, give me a freaking break. To say it's to even say it is up there with some of the greatest heavyweight trilogies of all time. It just shows you how abysmal heavyweight boxing has been for the totality of a couple of decades now.
I'll be honest with you, it is one of the greatest trilogies, but it's not the greatest trilogy in heavyweight history. It's one of the greatest. I'll give it its credit, because being one of the greatest means that you're pretty much inside the top 6 or 7, right? That's what you need to be, in the top 6 or 7. There hasn't been a whole host of trilogies that we have the ability to view, so.
Yeah, well, if you in that regard, if you define it in that way, yeah, I would probably put it at the close to the bottom of the list of what I've enjoyed. But
Charles versus Joe Walcott.
Yeah, and of course, Ali, Frazier, and of course, fucking, like, one of my fucking favorites, hand down, was Bo and Holyfield. So it's a lot, man.
No, 100%. Give me 1 second.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. So we just man. So y'all, we just exist in a world with wishy-washy freaking perspectives, and it's just like, yo, if these pundits and these people that are working these news articles, if this is what they're shelling out to us, then, like, it's like, we're definitely at a lose-lose situation, because how in the world is anybody gonna benefit in any substance when it comes to the boxing world if you got people lying or saving faces for relationships? Because, like, come on, man, you can't put look, to even have Tyson Fury above Ken Norton, you fucking smoking stones and quasar dust. I don't even know what quasar dust is. It just sounded really good at the time.
You know, when I was a kid, we had a you heard of laser tag, right? Laser tag.
Hell yeah. Played it all the time.
Yeah. So over here, ours was called laser quasar, and I never knew what the fuck quasar was, but and it sounded good at the time, you know. I'm serious, laser quasar down at the local omniplexes, like that's crazy shit. But let me just hit you with something, bro. In terms of record, in terms of statistics, I'm gonna hit people with a bit of a reality check, and it's gonna bother them. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are comparable.
Yo, Mark, I literally just said that shit like 10 minutes ago. Literally.
Very comparable. I did before I jumped on. I didn't hear what you said because I literally just arrived in the chat saying "God bless," you know.
Right.
So they're comparable. Wilder has more defense.
Go ahead and break it down. Break it down in your perspective, bro. Let them have it.
Okay, so Wilder has more title defenses than Tyson Fury, which shows to some ability that he's able to show consistency. Tyson Fury, he has the more standout wins, which is obvious. Now, in terms of the champions beaten, Tyson Fury has beaten 2 world champions. He's beaten Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder. People will hate this, but Deontay Wilder holds wins over Sergey Leohovich and remains the Vern, so statistically, they're equal. Statistically equaled. And now Fury, he has been a unified champion. Deontay never did that. Fury has 1 defense. Wilder has 10 title defenses. Fury has 2 knockouts in championship fights. Deontay Wilder in title fights trumps him because he's had what 14 title fights. Fury's had 4. So I mean, it's you can compare them. Wilder's resume is a bunch of bums. Fury's record, it's a bit better than Wilder's, but they are actually comparable. And statistically, Wilder wins that matchup. Statistically, in statistics, because when you get into champion, he does. If Fury wins the Hall of Fame category, Wilder actually beats him in top 10 opponents, which is crazy. It's crazy because he has 2 wins over Luis Ortiz. That's 2. He has 2 wins over Bermane Stiverne. He has a win over Sergey Leohovich. He has a win over Chris Arreola. All of them men have been inside the top 10. So he has 6 wins over top 10. Fury has 5. So Wilder actually beats him out on that. And it's probably even more with Wilder because I haven't gone completely in depth. I'm just saying off head. So Wilder beats him out there. That's stupid, bro. How are you going to lose out to a dude who'll be ducking everybody? This dude cherry-picked Tyson Fury. Let's not leave that out. He cherry-picked him because the dude was an obese waste on the couch. That's what he tried to do. Fury beat him. Look, I give Fury his credit. He beats a dude who can punch, right? I'll give him his credit for that. Fantastic. He ain't the best heavyweight of this area. There's a couple of dudes he got to see. He got to defend that belt, right? He got to defend it against that mandatory. If he defends and defeats Dillian White, he's well on his way, right? Because you add Dillian White onto Chisora twice, and Vlad and Wilder, that starts looking nice, right?
That's looking real good.
That's looking real nice. Then, if he goes undisputed by beating Alexander Usyk or Anthony Joshua, he looking real good then. And we can't even say shit. But he has to beat those fools. You can't just give him the credit for the victories without him ever having fought them just because he beat Deontay Wilder, who was getting outboxed by Arthur Spudgate.
And getting freaking smashed on the back foot by Johan Duhaupas. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, and those are the comparisons that I was making. And that's why I'm saying, like, if Tyson Fury goes from the Tyson Fury that jumps up off the couch, picks and chooses and fighting the Seven Safaris and the Pionettas of the world to fighting, taking his mandatory against a Dillian White. Because like I said, with the heavyweight class is probably more competitive than it's ever been right now with a stable of talent. Say you beat a Dillian White, then you go off and, you fight the winner of Joshua or Usyk. Dude, I can't say shit, but hey, it is what it is.
Look, his record could look nice either way, because let's say he doesn't beat Dillian, he doesn't fight Dillian, because Dillian loses to Otto Wallin. Let's say that happens. That's the reason the fight doesn't happen 2 hands. Then that Otto Wallin win starts looking nice. But until Otto himself, it can't look nice. What's Otto doing? Beat Dominic Brazil. Okay, Wilder already did that, so did AJ. You can't be treating people like this. Oh, Tom Schwartz beat Sinad Gashi via disqualification. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Senagashi headbutt the shit out of Tom Schwartz. Senagashi sprinted away from Derek Chisora. Dude's a bum. Yeah. It's just...
Yo, you see the way Tom Schwartz flopped out in that fight? That shit was fucking, oh my God, dude.
Yo, Tom Schwartz looked the part though, didn't he? He was big, he had a beard, he had good muscular definition to him, right? To some extent.
Yeah. So to a certain extent, he did. He came with a little bit of a presidential look for casual interpretation for sure.
And Tyson Fury did a better job on Tom Schwartz than he did on Fah Fah. That tells you how good Tom Schwartz is.
Yeah, flat tire at its finest. And on that note, I think we have covered it all. So
well,
shut this thing down. Go ahead, Mark.
Just one other thing. Statistically, Tim Witherspoon is greater than Tyson Fury all time.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And Tim was never considered the best of his era. Let that sink in.
Hey, man, that man is the master. Hey, that man got the meanest he probably got the meanest overhand right in boxing.
He up there. I appreciate you too, Hans. God bless you. You have a good
I
night.
appreciate you too, brother. Thanks for coming through and imparting your knowledge, your wisdom, and your perspective, bro. It's always needed on Reaper Gang Radio, man. Love you, bro. Have a great day.
Peace out, man. God bless. God bless.
Peace. Hey, man. So yeah, man, my bro came through, and like I said, man, when you're realistic about the sport, 9 times out of 10, your perspectives are going to align. Now, everybody's going to have their differences. That's why it's great to have other, boxing minds come up and speak and give their perspective on the topics. But usually, those lines will always run parallel mentally, because if you see things for what they truly are, then you're not really going to differentiate. But goddamn, man, like, it's just got to stop, guys. Like, it's got to stop. People, and the problem is, and I think this is the biggest problem, people don't do their own damn research. That's a fact, James Jameson. That is a fact. People don't do their own research. And it becomes harder to do that type of research when, once again, you have Talk Sports. And it's funny that the name is Talk Sports, because it shouldn't even be talking sports. We'll say things of that nature, or you look at the pound for pound rankings and they're fabricated. And you just look at these guys, these fluffed opponents, and, they're just overly exalted. Well, guess what? On Reaper Gang Radio, on Unrivaled Boxing Talk, on, DT3, the Boom Man's channel, and a lot of other individuals' channel, we're just not, can't forget Ring IQ. We're just not going to do that shit. So I appreciate all of you guys coming through on this Super NIPPL Sunday, sharing in my frustrations with Teofimo Lopez. Oh, yeah, and one more thing about that. Teofimo Lopez said they're going to do that fight next after George Kambosos. You already, your fight's already being hosted on DAZN. So guess what? I'm going to hold you to that, because nothing in the boxing world makes more sense right now other than going undisputed at 135 pounds. And we getting to truly understand who is the real undisputed champion at 135. And man, at this point, the shit is smoking. Devin Haney made it very clear. Well, he said it right in his face. He thinks Teofimo is straight pussy. Straight pussy. There's a lot of disrespect there now. And honestly, here's another perspective on that. Could that have possibly been orchestrated all for the buildup for what's to be the biggest fight in boxing next, after Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez? Could they have done that? Could they have orchestrated that meetup? And could they have had all of those cameras around? And could they have had his father available and his father available, and everybody in this intense situation you know, talking nice to each other, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, with the intentions of the fight build up, because the inevitable is that fight is going to happen. Could that be possible? That could be another possibility if I'm playing devil's advocate. But at the end of the day, Teo is acting like a straight female. And I hope that fight does happen, because I'm going to hold you to it. Because you already know what we're going to do to you on Reaper Gang Radio if it doesn't come to fruition. So as we always say, at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. And I mean, I'm going to end this off with reading this Talk Sports list to let you guys know how my frustrations are pretty much legitimate, considering what these dudes are doing out here. Talk Sport list. Ernie Shavers is 20. Michael Moore at number 19. Chris Bird at 18. Wilder at 16. Young at 15. Spinks 14. Witherspoon at 13. Joshua at 12. Norton at 11. Bo at 10. Ladd at 9. Vitali at 8. Mike Tyson at 7. Evander 6. Tyson Fury at 5. Above Evander Holyfield! What? Oh my God. Anyway, Frazier at 4. Lennox at 3. Foreman at 2. And the Eastern Assassin at number 1. No, Holmes at 2. And Ali, greatest of all time, at number 1. I have a lot of problems with that. I could pick that shit apart real fucking quick, but that shit is an embarrassment. So once again, 2 hands it won't, because Teo has to go back to top rank. Hey, but JD, here's the beauty of that. One thing we do know is what will Eddie do if that's the case. Eddie has no problem sending them over. But you know what I'm saying? But the point that I tried to emphasize earlier with that whole top rank situation is top rank won't put that type of money up. That new contract that they gave Teo, we know Bob Arum is at this point where he's just a shrewd piece of shit. They're not going to put that type of money up. They're not. Lisa, I don't agree with it at all either, Queen. You know, they're not going to want to put that type of money up. They're going to try to, you know what I'm saying, run that shit straight through pay-per-view. And I mean, I have no problem with paying for the pay-per-view. I'll pay $100 for that pay-per-view for real. But I'm saying, make the shit happen. No excuses. No excuses. Just like Terrence Crawford called out, you know, the PBC and Tom Brown during the first press conference of Sean Porter, saying that, yo, the fighters want to make the fight, they'll make the fight. Well, we know that the PBC fighters never wanted to make the fight with Bud Crawford as well. So that's what. I guess that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for showing up for this Super Nipple Sunday. It's the motherfucking boss. You already know what it is. Everybody, go out and shine like stars, because at the end of the day, y'all are one. Respect.